Hello and welcome to the second episode of this multiplayer match between myself, Sarnt, and Texas Hammer. He's just someone I found online on Discord, and we wanted to. Well, we started out playing Cross of Iron and found that boring, so then we moved on to Radzymin campaign, which, those of you who don't know, Radzymin is a mod for Close Combat Last Stand Arnhem. It's pretty well received, well acclaimed, pretty popular in the community. Last Stand Arnhem is just a popular base for modding, and this is one of the top mods out there for it right now, along with probably Gold Juna's sword. Anyways, I'm just gonna jump into this. So, so you can see here, this is our strategic map outside of Warsaw, and in the last episode, I'll just pause for a second, we had to we'll keep that playing. I kind of lost control of Morty. This isn't our primary thrust, really. And I'm playing as the Soviets, obviously, but we're kind of a diversionary thrust into the battle sector while we're waiting for our main pushes to come in from, I think, the south and northeast. So at this point, we're just trying to hold on for dear life. The big cats are very dangerous in this mod. I will say a little bit more so than I think they should be, but that's okay. It's still fun. But I am having to pull back the 20th Tank Brigade to, I'm going to butcher these names, Bukshin, to protect my supply lines there, because as you can see, that Grenadier regiment up to the northeast did in fact destroy my battle groups there. Unfortunately, they pushed them off the map, which destroyed them. So in order to keep this front going, I have to pull that unit back so that I can protect that supply line, so my other units don't get destroyed, for lack of a better description. I'm going to just try to skip ahead here a little bit so we can kind of pass all of this time. Yep, so we can see we're starting in this southwestern kind of map of this front line that we have open right now. We have fought quite a few battles in here already. This is really just a meat grinder. I'm throwing man and machine alike into the meat grinder. So I'm going to be doing a lot skipping here. You can see I'm looking at my 20th Rifle Division, I believe, which is the kind of reserve battle group that's part of this battle group for the 36th Tank Brigade. I think I do end up grabbing something out of here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it looks like I grabbed a mortar and then filled up the rest with tank and men. So if you watch the first episode, you're probably already familiar with this map a little bit. I'm going to kind of skip forward to some of the gameplay a little bit. The idea here right now is I only have one capture point or victory point. If he takes that, I lose this map. That's it. This battle group is gone. I lose. So my goal right here is really just to hold on to this battle group. And also I want to apologize for the video quality on this one. I fixed my video quality, so it should be better in the preceding videos, but for now this one's a little bit rough looking. I didn't have quite the aspect ratio or resolution and bit rate set up correctly when I recorded these. Anyways, my main goal right now is essentially just to hold on to this victory flag and then try to break out of this kind of confined space here, which I'm doing to the north, which you probably noticed in the last episode in this one. And I think in this battle you are going to see I'm going to make a very small amount of headway. And each of these battles is like, I think 4 hours or something like that. So, small gains, close combat, right? We're doing some house-to-house fighting. And this is pretty much a no-go down here for me, this bottom center left area, because there's broad avenues. My tanks are just not good enough against his Panthers, and he has a Tiger on this map. to be able to take them head to head here. And there's just too big of open areas for infantry. I did have that 3 house at one point, but he keeps taking it back at the last second each time we play. So I'm going to keep skipping ahead here. Just checking sight line of sight here. Oh, and yeah, I did set up some pre-planned mortar barrages, essentially. Some smoke here, so you can see you're going to see some smoke popping, and right off the bat we have a Panzer IV up here, which I knock out, and he knocks out 2 of my T-34-85s down here with a Panther. I think he just hit 1 so far, but there's going to be another. And we have some very, very close combat in this area, which is fine. I'm going to end up consolidating that. Oh yeah, that part I was trying to figure out how to get my troop information open back up. Hitting every button but the right button. And oh, actually it looks like that one got hit by that. What is that, a Panzer IV up there? So I didn't realize that. And you can see it's sort of quiet down here other than that. There's some troops down there it looks like, and some in this 2 building. Panther popped up over here on the right. Again, my only real goal is just to hold on to that victory point while I push up here in the north. You can see he's got guys in these buildings here. It looks like we cleared out those guys in that building a little bit. A little bit of back and forth with his Panther and my IS-2, which that round bounced off the IS-2 and didn't do anything. Yeah, these Panthers are just brutal. They often one-shot my 85s and IS-2s, no problem. And then I find that my rounds are bouncing off them over and over. The IS-2s can take them out relatively consistently. The problem is what I've learned, and I didn't know this before this, was that they actually have 2-part ammo, so their reload times are extended, we'll say. Again, I apologize for the bad video quality here. And I'm just trying to reposition that IS-2 there, so if that Panther comes up again, he has a better line of sight on it. Which I think he does end up taking out that IS-2. And this is really just, it's a battle for inches at this point, you know. Looks like he spotted my infantry team there in that kind of barn shed building with his tanks across the stream. And we're laying into these guys in this building here with our mortars, tanks, infantry crawling up. Trying to get that Su-85 up there. Sounds like we killed some guys in that middle farmhouse there with those mortars. That's one thing I always liked about these games, is just the persistent destruction on the maps. It's fun having a battle like this over and over. You know, multiple turns of the same map, and you kind of see the buildup of equipment and craters and destroyed barns. It's interesting to me. And it looks like we probably cleared out this 3-story building, but I'm still trying to suppress it just in case there is anyone hiding in there. Because the last thing I want is a Panzerschreck popping up and hitting my T-34-85 or that IS-2 up there. You can see here, I'm just trying to use my armor here to suppress and kill anyone in these houses that's firing on these guys still. And it looks like I took out one of those Panthers with the IS-2. Kind of a lucky shot there, honestly. Just had that keyhole view of it for just a split second. It can be frustrating with just in general in this game, because the tanks will kind of automatically change their ammo type. So, you know, if they're shooting at infantry, there'll be an HE, and then a tank rolls down the hill, and they'll have to switch to, or they'll fire that HE and then switch to AP. So it's easy to kind of mishandle that, which really plays kind of a negative role when dealing with the IS-2 because it already is so slow. And this was kind of frustrating. He told me at this point this vehicle crew was actually, you can see there at the top left, his little vehicle crew that came out of that Panther down south. For whatever reason, they decided to flee north through my lines and apparently was revealing all my units to him, which, no bueno. But, yeah, you can see I moved that 120 millimeter Minomet. Not sure how to say that. Minome. That mortar team down south, just in case he decides to, you know, hit me with some indirect fire there. Yeah, this part, it starts to slow down. We pretty much got through the bulk of the combat here in this battle. And there's still some guys hiding in that 3-story up north, so I'm trying to get my Su-85 into a better position to fire on that. I thought about putting some mortars on that for a second, and then probably thought to myself, you know, that's a little bit danger close for those two riflemen up there. They're just pounding that building now. There's not a whole lot that's going to happen here, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So right here, he starts sending some guys down the road, which I start hitting them with mortars, and I don't think he realized at this point I had infantry in this 2-story by the victory point. And then I'm just putting some fire suppression onto that 3-story with my IS-2 again, just in case anyone sneaks in there, or anyone that's still in there decides to, you know, pop up and shoot something, or, you know, smack a tank of mine. Which I think at some point he does kill that IS-2 in that T-3485. Yeah, here we go. So see, this is the fun part. You'll see this IS-2, it was just pounding that building. Boom, it's dead. It didn't have enough time to reload to even get a round off. Really struggling with these guys up here too. Anyway, so that was unfortunate. But I do still have a good amount of infantry down there to help out at this point. It's funny because this crossing, this mill here, there's a crossing there where all those tank hulks are just burnt out. But I won't really be able to use it for vehicles anymore. As you can see, we exchanged rounds there, bounce. And here I start using my mortars to try to disable it. Bringing down another T-34. Oh, and there goes that one. Yeah, those Panthers, the Panthers in this are just brutal. They don't mess around. But yeah, here I start trying to disable this Panther with my mortars, I think. It's, well, not yet, but at some point I do. And then I'm trying to get that T-34 into a position where I can possibly get a side shot on its armor. Yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit here because there's not a whole lot going on at this point. Right here you can see where I start using those mortars to try to disable it. And when I say disable, what I really mean is not destroy, but like track it or something so that it can't move. Or even injure the crew, anything. It's not something I do a ton in this, but at this point I'm kind of figuring there's not a whole lot of his infantry that is in a position to assault. So I don't necessarily need these mortars for assault. I have a few rounds, and that Panther's really dangerous to my infantry at the moment. Skip ahead a little bit more. So yeah, he backs that thing up, and I stop shooting at it. Yeah, I'm not going to get line of sight on that anymore. And I kind of just decided to leave that T-34-85 there because it has a good kind of line of sight down south there in case anything or anyone tries to cross that field between my buildings, the VP, and that fence to the right. I just kind of move this one up. Oh, and this is fun here. So my Su-85 actually gets line of sight on it. And I think his Panther must have got line of sight for a second too because you saw it turn. And then it must have lost it because it stops. And that was great. Love that. That was a good shot. You don't see that often. That was a good angle there. And that is more or less the end of the battle, if I remember correctly. Some more of his tank crew running north for whatever reason. Doesn't make any sense. And this was just, we're getting near the end of the round. It was kind of a Hail Mary to distract him and make him think that something was happening up there, which there wasn't. You know, I wanted to kind of make him afraid that I was going to send something up north so that he doesn't keep sending his tanks south and try to take that VP with those 3 remaining minutes. It's become a common tactic in these games for both of us to, you know, wait till the last 30 seconds to minute to try to rush some forces forward to take something. Yeah. Whoops. And I just accidentally skipped all the way to the end of all of this. So I'm just going to skip ahead to... Yeah, we're at a minute left here, so I'm kind of trying to move some guys forward, just gain a few more inches before the end of the match, which you can see here. He has an MG in that building still, despite all the ammunition we put on it. He's bringing up a Tiger over that little bridge up there north. That'll be dangerous for me. Yeah, infantry are very squishy in this mod. They die incredibly easily, even in hard cover. Alright, and that's the end of the battle. Time ran out. So you can see we made a few more feet and moved on. So I'm going to skip ahead here. You can see we took some casualties, but we inflicted a lot more actually, and that armor trade-off is probably one of the better ones I've seen in this campaign so far. Not bad. I'm just going to skip through that. So this is actually going to be a meeting engagement because we had to retreat back to defend our supply line. And he moved forward to attack. So I'm just going to skip through this stuff a little bit. I did bring 2 mortars again, 120 millimeter mortars. You're going to see me kind of test a few things here. I was thinking about putting the IS-2 there and then thought, no, it's not worth it because there's a broader frontage for him to hit me with multiple things in those hedges, and from experience, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some sort of AT gun in there. The kind of crux of my plan here was to isolate this building. So I was going to go ahead and let him move up to here and put units in kind of covered and keyhole positions that could have eyes on it. So when he moved people forward to try to take this crossroad, they would be able to fire on it. But he wouldn't be able to bring a lot of fire to bear on any one of those positions. I also avoid long avenues like this because, again, his armor is just so much better than mine that anything I would put at the end of this is going to die to a panther or a tiger at worst. I do have this Su-85 here, but I end up putting it in a position where it can see up here, but there is no line of sight down this road. So, and then I'll end up, I think, putting another one up here. The idea that anything armor that comes through here is going to get all the way up to the top of this road, come around this corner, and it's going to get met with an SU, and then there's going to be another SU that's going to roll up to this hedge and shoot it in the side. And you're going to see I'm going to make a little bit of a mad dash to the south here to set up some positions in kind of a crescent moon shape to watch any units that cross into these buildings in the bottom right center here. And I'm going to bring some of my armor up to support that movement as well. There is an exit objective in the very bottom left of the map, which I'm going to send one of these squads in the top left here to move forward towards. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I think we paused the game or stopped for a moment. I had to take a phone call or something like that. So yeah, you can see this T-34-85. I put it in position where it would just be able to see this building here and anything coming in through these hedges here, but not quite down here. And I do end up leaving one here as well to the south of this destroyed building. Same idea. And then these are more as a scout in this position, as well as just to contest anything that moves into this two-story building on the right side of the center area of the map. Oh, whoops, and I accidentally skipped ahead too far again. Okay, so we're started the battle here. Kind of got our plan in place. Yep, so we're rushing our infantry down south to take these buildings. So pretty much what this does is it allows me to, if he comes into here, I have, 3 different angles of fire on it. He comes into here, I have at least 2, plus any armor that peeks through these keyholes. And then if he comes into this building, I have 3 as well. So, he's pretty much outgunned no matter which buildings he comes into. The only way he would be able to, maybe get an edge is if he moved into all 3 at once. But, I'm going to contest that with mortars and armor and whatever I have. You can see he does send a Jagdpanzer up the road here. That disappears. I'm not too worried about that. I'm not looking to give away my position quite yet. This IS-2 has a nice line of sight through this keyhole here to anything that might pop up through this avenue. And then this T-34-85 is just kind of in a flexible position here, so it can help anything that comes down this crossroad, as well as back up, fire through here. It can back up and fire up through this way too. And this road right here, this big long road, this is real dangerous for me because, he can put any guns or panthers on the eastern side of this road and essentially just dominate it. So that's what I'm doing there, is I'm just trying to avoid losing anything in the middle of the road there, but if anything tries to cross, I'm going to pop it. Now, it does leave a big section of the map to the south and southeast for him to maneuver through, but, it's a risk I was willing to take. Actually, let's pause it on that map for 1 second. Yeah, so here's a good view of the map. So you can see this kind of cuts off his approach down this road, having this armor here and infantry here. Again, he can come down through here if he wanted to, which he does, but, you know, there's fog of war here, so he doesn't know exactly what I'm doing either. And then this armor is always in a position to quickly address any developing situations to the south down here. It is still dangerous just because of the nature of this, you know, long open road. So if I were to be in a desperate situation where I did need to move that armor down, what I would end up doing is using these 120 millimeters to smoke the roadway first. I don't always like to just smoke, you know, just where I'm moving. A lot of times I'll smoke somewhere else as well to kind of throw my opponent off, make them think I'm moving somewhere. So yeah, we're seeing some infantry move up into the center village area as well, but I'm just kind of ignoring it at this point because I want to ambush them. And I do hit him with some mortars there just to kind of keep him on his toes, let him know, hey, you know, we're here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Start of this battle's real quiet, not a whole lot going on. And some more infantry crossing them through these woods and this hedge into these buildings, so I'm just laying some mortars down to annoy them. Which I do have line of sight with that T-34, but I decided against firing because I wanted to keep it hidden for now. And those mortars are very, very off. So I'm going to bring some of them up just to get a little better accuracy. Hopefully get better accuracy. And then I'm going to keep those ones that were further back just to apply some pressure. You can see he's bringing some more infantry through those woods there too. So he's doing pretty much what I thought he would do. Taking this east side of the road here. And I'm just checking some sight lines. We're just getting no hits. Gonna skip ahead a little bit again. You can see Panther coming down that road, which he's just going to use to dominate that avenue. Linear danger area, you may. Looks like we did hit one guy there with our mortars. Not super effective, but it's slowing him down, which is, you know, valuable. A couple more. And there's some crossing the road there, which we're immediately going to bring some mortars down on them. We don't let any good deed go unpunished in this game. You can hear them getting hit there. Got a couple out in the open. Good. That's one thing about this mod is these infantry teams or squads in this are quite large compared to a lot of the other close combat games. So, you know, you get 3 or 4 kills like that, that may only be like a quarter of that squad. That still has, you know, 75% fighting capacity. So, it's formidable. And again, just checking some lines of sight there. I'm going to bring this 34 up to put some suppressing fire on these Panzer Grenadiers that just ran into this building. And we are fighting SS, so these are pretty elite crack German infantry and armor. I think it's part of Totenkopf division, if I remember correctly. can see I keep thinking about what to do with those mortars there. It's always a battle in this game between utilizing them and saving ammo for when you really need it. I think here I decided the tank was enough. Get a little line of sight on that Panther real quick and take a shot of opportunity, and it bounces off the front armor, and he misses, so I back up again. A little bit of shoot and scoot there. That could have gone very badly for me, to be honest. I was just making sure that line of sight still was squared away, that he couldn't see me. We spot some more Panzer Grenadiers to the south there, making their way towards the crossroad and that southwest victory point, but we hit them with our 120 millimeters. It looks like he's got a big infantry push going across those open fields there. Here he finally moves some guys into those buildings on the opposite side of the crossroad there, that northern crossroad. But we were prepared, and we are hitting it with a lot of stuff. I think I do end up losing a T-34 up there, but when I was playing I didn't see how, so I guess we'll get a good look at that now. Possibly this Panther he's bringing up in the southeast. That's probably exactly what got it. Yep, that is. See, I thought there was no line of sight down there, which I guess I was wrong. In this situation, I'm actually glad that Su-85 can't hit that Panther. Most likely lose that fight right there. You can see that vehicle crew that's escaping up north is getting shot at by something to the east. Some sort of gun. And we're just going to back these guys off the front of this building so that they're not getting overwhelmed by that Panther and whatever infantry he brings up. See, I'm putting some suppressing fire down on this building again. Still suspect there's some infantry hanging out in there. In fact, I think you can see some rounds coming off of it. Yeah, my end goal in this battle really isn't to conquer the map. I mean, eventually, sure, like the end goal of the game is, but right now I'm just holding on. And hanging up some of his units, so. Put some smoke down. So Panthers moving up. I'm going to skip ahead a bit here. We're at 3-minute mark. So yeah, I just smoked that whole front line essentially. because I'm about to move some of these infantry down to take this crossroad that he kind of snuck up and grabbed. So you can see there I'm suppressing with my armor and then slowly moving my infantry squad up there. I'm gonna keep fast forwarding here. At this point I'm just unloading all my smoke. It helps confuse the battlefield a bit. I did take that victory point to the southwest, and I am moving that infantry squad to the east now to push out from there and open up my front line a little bit more. Here I think I accidentally shoot one of my own infantrymen. Wasn't paying attention, and then IS-2 shoots him. But we do go ahead and take that that crossroad victory point, which I did take some fire from the east there. I'm guessing from a Panther, but I'm not. Actually, you know what it is? It was that Jagdpanzer. That Jagdpanzer. I'm guessing. Can't say for certain. And we're under a minute now. So you can see this thing really starts to pick up here. Rushing some guys across to try to retake this building. Earn our namesake here and get into some close combat. Grenades out. At this point I'm just trying to grab ground, which is more or less what he's doing too. There you have it. Here's our casualty report. So really good for us, actually. We did lose one T-34-85, and it looks like we damaged one of his Panthers, I'm guessing. And we took a nice broad swath of the front line from him. Okay. So we end that turn, and we finally get some reinforcements, which is nice. We have the 186th Division against the 84th Grenadier Regiment, I believe that is. Well, technically, I guess it's 54th Guards Rifle Division. That's interesting, because that's not what it shows on the top there. Must be the card below it. And then we have... Oh, you know what? I selected a different map than what we're looking at. So yeah, we have the 186th Division against the 84th Grenadier Regiment. So we'll go ahead and pick our units. This is our map here. So we're kind of using this obviously a infantry-heavy battle group. So or a Soviet motorized rifle brigade, as you can see. So we got a lot of infantry. We have some sappers, T-34-76, Su-76M. We do have a ZIS-2 and some mortars. Pretty basic stuff. Now I think I accidentally did not record this battle itself. Long story short, we did take this hedge here, and we came into contact with infantry majority infantry force on his side. I don't think I saw any armor. He did have one gun that gave me a hard time down here in the southeast corner. But I think we overall came out on top, even though we took heavier casualties. We pushed up north into this area, and he did have a Stug that we took out here with our T-34-76. So I had some infantry along this hedgerow. He had some infantry along his. His Stug pushed out in the middle here, and it was firing at some of my infantry up here. And my T-34 came down south here to the side and popped it. One hit, one kill. So that's more or less how that went. And that was the end of our matches for today. So if you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, whatever, all that crap. I'll see you next episode.